Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northfield. My name is Martha Easter Wells, and I have been a member of this congregation for 2.5 years. UUFN is an inclusive community that nourishes spiritual and intellectual growth and fosters ethical and social responsibility. If you are a visitor, either on-site or online, we are glad you are with us, and we invite you to stay after the service to get acquainted. We welcome your questions and look forward to getting to know you. Later in the service today, we will take our Share the Plate offering as a way to care for the wider world. This month's Share the Plate recipient is Minnesota Honor Tax, chosen by our Land Acknowledgement and Beyond Working Group. From the website of the Minnesota Honor Tax, for thousands of years, the Dakota lived in and cared for much of the land we now know as Minnesota. The Dakota continued to maintain traditional villages, hunting and gathering grounds, and travel routes through the area. Through treaties, wars, and broken promises, the United States took that Dakota land as its own. Today, we who live on the land can recognize and support the enduring sovereignty of the Lower Sioux Indian community by contributing to this honor tax. The tax is a voluntary payment made directly to the tribe. During the offering later, you may put cash or check in the basket or donate online from our website, unorthfield.org. If your check is for your pledge, simply write pledge on the memo line. There will also be instructions on the screen during the offertory time. I call your attention to the announcements in your order of service and weekly email. There you'll find more information about a reminder to clean out your junk drawers for hidden away treasures a child might like for our non-traditional Easter egg hunt on Easter Sunday. Note that the care team conversation about Transgender Day of Visibility has been rescheduled from tomorrow to April 4th at 5 p.m. Join us this Thursday, March 28 at 7 p.m. for Holy Communion service. This will be an in-person service only and is a tradition at UUFN. Our communion table is radically welcoming. Everyone of all ages and theologies is welcome as we honor the life and teachings of Jesus, nourish our bodies and spirits, and experience the power of breaking bread together. Next Sunday, March 31, Reverend Sarah will share a Unitarian Universalist Easter. This service asks, what might the Easter story mean for us as Unitarian Universalists? After the service, children will be invited to a Found Treasures Easter egg hunt. Again, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northfield.
Thank you, Taylor. Wonderful. Good morning, I'm Sandra Griffin. I've been a member here for maybe 6 years. I don't really know for sure. The Hindu Festival of Holi is on our calendars for tomorrow, and I would like you to hear something about that and also watch a video after I tell you about it. The Hindu Festival of Holi is a celebration of breaking down barriers and preparing for transformation. It's really a fun time with festivities in which colorful varieties of colorful powders are either sprayed on or paint is painted on one another as they dance around and celebrate. It's a time of inclusivity. It's also a Women's History Month this month, so we're celebrating women's history, as well as a time of transformation into inclusivity, consideration, and respect for others in the most intense ways. The woman that we will talk about today lived around 35 in the Common Era, and she approached a person named Jesus. I think Jesus is a person, around 30 in the Common Era. Let's take a look at a video of the Hindu festival of Holi. It is fun, they tell me. A Hindu friend tells me it's sort of a free-for-all. Let's listen to the words from Dr. David Breeden, Here to Transform. Welcome to this place where certainty transforms to questions. This place that takes what is and imagines what can be. Welcome to this space where what was fixed begins to shift, where rigidity embraces unfolding. As we join in the dance of transformation, welcome to this moment of change where together we transfigure and transcend together. Come, let us worship together. The flaming chalice is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, and each Sunday when we gather, we bring this symbol to light together. Please join me in speaking the words for lighting the chalice. Our opening hymn is 121, We Will Build a Land. Please rise or remain seated as you are comfortable.
I invite you to allow yourself an unhurried breath. Relax your shoulders, inhale and exhale, and let your heart catch up with you in this moment. Rest in the embrace of a wider love. In the presence of this love that holds us all, we use our chalice flame to light our candles of community. We light our first candle as a blessing for the wider world. In this time where so many of us live in great abundance, let us not forget those in Sudan, Gaza, and throughout the world who are suffering from malnutrition and starvation. We pray for quick and permanent solutions to the problem of hunger. We know too that the details of our daily lives are sacred and important. We now light a candle for all the simple joys that are sustaining us, and we light silence. May the truth of your heart be reflected in these flames. Amen, and blessed be. The reading today is by Arlen Goff. Thresholds. Thresholds, we cross them every day from room to room, from outside to inside, and back again from here to there. Excuse me. From anywhere to everywhere, from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation from what we were and what we are to what we can be. In this hour and in this place, we cross the threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, into an awareness of new life, pregnant with possibilities. How will we be renewed in this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed through this gathering of beloved community? Come, you longing, thirsty souls. Come, let us worship together. We will now take our... Okay. We will now take our offering. Our offering is one way we care for the world tangible. This month's recipient, Minnesota Honor Tax. You may donate by cash, check made out to UUFN with offering basket in the memo line, or online from our website, uunorthfield.org. You can scroll down to the bottom of the homepage for the link. We now gratefully accept the offering.
To everything there is a season, and this truth you'll find. Every purpose under heaven has a season and a time for has a season and a time, time that's mine.
There is a mistake, it's all my fault. On the front of your bulletin, it says Samaritan woman. I had my Bible stories mixed up. It's actually a Canaanite woman. So here we go. The narrative of Jesus and the Canaanite woman was written approximately 90 to 120 years after Jesus died. What agenda, what purpose could the narrative writer have in crafting this narrative? Biblical scholars tell us that many of these narratives were created for political and or socio-cultural reasons. I think there is a cultural purpose to this story, one that breaks down barriers and celebrates the joy and acceptance of all people. First, let's think about courage. According to the narrative, Jesus and his followers, all of whom are, whatever label you want to give them, Hebrew, Jewish, or Israelite, they travel to the region of Tyre and Sidon, which is a Canaanite area. This small area is all that was left for the indigenous people of the land of Canaan, whom Jesus' ancestors, centuries before, had driven out in wars. Once again, why? Why would the narrative writer have Jesus traveling to a Canaanite area when most biblical experts think that Jesus was claimed by the Israelite people to be a messenger from God only and specifically for the Israelite, Hebrew, or Jewish people? Why would this author have Jesus going to this indigenous land, Canaan? Well, while he is there with a few of his followers, often called disciples, they're approached by a Canaanite woman. Now, this is really strange because women in that time period and in that culture were very limited by a lot of behavioral rules. They were not allowed to simply start a conversation with a man, especially a man of a different culture. She was Canaanite, and Jesus was a descendant of the conquerors. Very unusual conversation. This Canaanite woman drew from the depths of her courage to ask Jesus, a foreign man, a favor. You see, her daughter was very ill. And she was talking to Jesus, and he was responding with her. And Jesus's followers, the disciples, were saying, send her away. Get rid of this pest. She's just a woman. She's a Canaanite. We don't talk to them. But Jesus overcame that. He helped her. He listened to her story. He felt her need in his heart, and he helped. Let's talk about culture. In the temple in Jerusalem, the holy city for the Hebrews, there was a divider, a curtain, or, well, they didn't have the foldable office cubicle things back then. There was a divider between what was called the Holy of Holies, where God lived. They thought God lived in this little room. They also believed that if humans were in the very presence of God, they would be struck dead by the intense holiness of God. It's important to remember that in another narrative, the narrative of Jesus' death, they say that the temple curtain was torn down. In other words, that which divided people from God was ripped open. No longer divided from God. As I see it, God, the source, the spirit of life, the oneness of all, whatever we want to label it, is in and with everybody. Whether you're Canaanite, Hebrew, Hindu, whatever size or shape you may be, whatever language you may speak, whatever skin tone you may have, whatever your cultural traditions may be, we all are sacred and worthy. Many of these narratives are about change of culture, change of tradition. It's an opening up. It's about listening respectively to an alternative point of view. There's another story, another narrative that you may be more familiar with. The story of the Good Samaritan. A rabbi doesn't help the man alongside the road that is partially conscious and beaten up and robbed. Neither does the high-class Levite help the man on the side of the road. But a Samaritan, another one of these people that Israelite Hebrew people were anathema about. They just avoided them. The Samaritan helped. Culture interferes. For centuries, these narratives have been interpreted as the wonderful mercy of this one fellow named Jesus, that he was so holy. It was a holy mercy. Or could these narratives be a work for change? Can we change? Can we transform ourselves? Can we change our culture? Bonnie Garman, who wrote Lessons in Chemistry, writes, "We, humans, are biochemically made for change." Think about it. How do we start out? An egg and sperm, an embryo, a fetus, a newborn, a child, a teenager, an adult, an aging adult, and death, all changes. But what about changing our thinking? What about changing our culture? We know that we can change ourselves with learning, with changing careers, with learning to meditate, changing our diet, many ways to change ourselves. Does today's culture in the United States need to change? Places like the news, CNN, whatever you choose to watch, are full of these warnings about how our people are all divided. How do we change this? Well, it's really normal for humans to associate with people that are like them. I feel comfortable with liberal people, with democratic people. I get a little prickly when I'm around listening to Christian fundamentalists. But a way that I can work with people that make me a little prickly is communication. Change happens with an idea. The idea to have the courage to talk with others about viewpoints and considering alternative ideas. I have actually met with people who are very different from me, and I have said to them, let's make an agreement and have a talk. Let's agree that neither one of us is going to get reactive and start speaking loudly and saying, no, 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 that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Let's agree that we'll both stay calm and give one another the viewpoint and listen to it. And then very calmly just make a couple statements of what the possible changes might be. And being with Unitarians, I mean, I know you all know this, or I think you do, certainly act like you do. I was talking with one of my physicians earlier this week, and he was saying, what are you reading? And I was reading something about preparing for this. And I said, oh, I have to speak at a Unitarian church on Sunday. And he said, oh, the Unitarians are great. They've made such progress. I said, yeah, in what areas? Well, take for instance, as a doctor, I'm very conservative in my religion, and my religion is so against people that are of transgender. And look at the Unitarians, they are moving ahead. I know you people know these things. So that plan of listening patiently, agreeing to listen and not be reactive, actually does work. One of our members here that recently died, John Fraz, I finally remember his courage to change things, the effort that John took. He would talk to almost anyone. Well, he would talk to anyone. Even if he first met you, he talked about politics. He talked about policy. He talked about his emotions, his faith, his feelings about family and friendships. He had that courage to change, to work to improve the gun laws. Think of all the work he did there. He was working for a better culture for all of us. I hope that we can get on that train, that Unitarian train that keeps running down the tracks, and keep working for change. Let's do our closing hymn. We can rise or remain seated as you wish. The hymn is 146. Soon the day will come.
Soon the day will arrive, and we will be together, and no longer will we live in fear. And the children will smile without wondering whether on that day thunder clouds will appear. Wait and see what a world there can be if we share, if we care, you and me. Wait and see what a world there can be if we share, if we care, you and me. Some have dreamed, some have died to make a bright tomorrow, and our vision remains in our hearts. Now the torch must be passed with new hope, not sorrow, and a promise to make a new start. Wait and see what a world there can be if we share, if we care, you and me. Wait and see what a world
Please join me in the words printed in your weekly folder bulletin. The prayer for living intention. Together, if we have any hope of transforming the world and changing ourselves, we must be bold enough to step into our discomfort, brave enough to be clumsy there, loving enough to forgive ourselves. May we as people of faith be granted the strength to be so bold. We join together in the words of extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please feel free to rise and with your hands over your heart or holding hands of those near you. Let us sing our closing song.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure, pure light that's within you guide your way home. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure, pure, pure light that's within you guide your way home.
Let us go in peace, courage to change culture.